edition of Scarborough Toastmasters at Large, our weekly discussion of local Toastmasters. We will chat about our Scarborough Toastmasters, what they're doing in the club, and what they're doing out at large in the world. So our guest today is Roy Lung. So welcome, Roy. Thank you for joining us on our mobile Scarborough Toastmasters studio.
Well, thank you for having me out here. I am a big fan of this show. Every week, I make sure I tune into your podcast.
Well, thank you.
I find you inspiring every week.
Well, thank you, sir. So I have a few questions. Would you like to answer them, sir?
As long as they're not too persnickety.
Well, I've never been known to be persnickety, but I can try. Okay?
Okay, great. Go
All
ahead.
right. So you've been part of the Toastmasters group for a long time. How long have you been long?
I have been with the group for about 3 years, which
Okay.
for some people is forever. And for other people, it's just a drop in the bucket. We've got people who've been here for 10 and 20 years. But 3 years, I've learned quite a bit in 3 years.
Oh, really? Thank you for sharing that. So, how often do you make speeches when you're there?
I try to make a speech at least once a month. I aim at once every 2 weeks. And I can't always make a speech at this club, so I'm also making speeches at other clubs. Like I'll be a target speaker at another club, or I'll be a guest at another club that will make a speech. And I aim at trying to get a speech in every 2 weeks. I coach hockey, and the kids that I coach, they only get better if they play hockey a lot. And the only way we become better speakers is if we get a chance to speak a lot.
Mhm.
And when you go outside of the club, when you go to a different club, all of a sudden it's all different faces, and it picks up the energy, and it's really exciting to go to another club.
Yeah, you have great energy, Roy. So what other clubs do you belong to?
Well, I don't belong to any other clubs, but I visit quite a few other clubs. There's a really nice one nearby called Speakers Club. It's a small club, and everybody gets more turns to speak. I've been down at Rainbow Club, which is a gay-friendly club, and they have a real energy there. I've been over to the Advanced 60 Club, which is more advanced speakers. So I've been to a variety of different clubs, and they all are different. That's why I encourage people, if you're looking for a Toastmaster club, visit 2 or 3 different clubs, because they all have different energy levels.
And on that frame, what would you have to give to our members? What would be one thing that would be important to you to pass on?
To pass on is just that willingness to go out there and make mistakes, to go out there and don't try and have your speech perfect, because if it's perfect, you're never going to do it. Just try and get it done and perform it. If your speech isn't ready perfect this week, just go out and do it, make mistakes, learn from them, and then next time you're going to be a bit better. Every time, just forget about being perfect, just get out there and speak as often as you can.
So I'm hearing action is one of the words.
Action, yes, that's a great way.
Okay. So if you, what would you say if you had done Toastmasters when you were younger?
Oh, it would have opened up so many more doors to me, because when you're young, at a certain point, if you don't have that confidence to go out there and chase what you really want, you settle for second best, and you settle maybe for that second best job, or you settle for that second best anything in life. And when you got the confidence from being able to speak and speak your mind, you're able to chase what your real dreams are. And I would have had a much better chance to chase my own dreams.
Oh, and talking about dreams, what are your future goals for Toastmasters?
One of the things I really get a lot of enjoyment out of is the youth leadership program, where we go into a school. For example, we went into Zion High School, and we had a group of 30 kids, and they all got a chance to do speeches. And the first speech is always horrible. And by the time they make their fourth speech, you can see them going from horrible to being competent to actually being good, and going from fearing it to having fun and enjoying it. And I'm hoping that if they have that confidence, doors will open for them that never opened up for myself when I was younger.
Wow, thank you. Talking about that, I understand that there's a new program out called Pathways. What is your thinking on that?
Pathways is like the road to hell was paved with good intentions, because it's got great intentions. It's got some great projects in there, like podcasting, for example. and other leadership projects, all kinds of great projects. But the problem is the website, I don't know who developed it, but they were a mind far greater than mine, because me and everybody I know who has used it find it unintuitive, hard to use. You know where you want to go, but you just can't get there. And I find a website is like a joke. If you don't get it, it didn't work.
Yeah, that's true. So if you had one thing to say, what would you say about it? How could you improve it?
If I was developing that website or any website, I wouldn't get people who are really good at websites. I would get people who are really bad at websites. Someone like my dad, and get them to try it out. And if my dad gets frustrated, I would go to the guys, let's make it a little simpler so my dad can figure it out. They seem to have had some really bright people who went, oh, of course you click on this to go here. And that's what I would do. Dumb it down for the rest of us.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with us this evening as we're wrapping up?
Well, the main thing is get out there. Don't try and be perfect. Just get out there as often as you can. Make speeches as often as you can, and that's the way you're going to get better. And if it's not your turn to make a speech, be an evaluator. That's a great way to get better at your speeches, is when you evaluate what somebody else did with their hand gestures, with their voice, with their humor, and you see what they did. Now it helps you do a better job yourself. It's been great being out here.
Thank you very, very much. I imagine that you've won some awards in your history, so would you like to share about those for a few seconds?
I would never do that. I'm far too humble to talk about
Well,
the humorous speech award I won at Area, or the international speech award I won at Area, or the table topics award I won at Area. I couldn't mention any of those things. I'm far too humble.
Well, I'm sorry you're so humble, sir. I'm sure we missed out on all that. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being out here. You're truly one of my heroes. Oh, that was fun. Thanks.